You let your dog out into the backyard every single morning. It is their kingdom. It is their playground. It is the one place on earth where they should be absolutely safe. Or at least that is what you think. But beneath the green grass, behind the fences, and tucked away in the corners of your garden, there are silent threats. Dangers that are invisible to the human eye until it is too late. Most owners never notice them until the vet bill arrives, or worse, until the emergency is already happening. Today, Canine Insight is going to change the way you look at your own home. We are not talking about the obvious things like cars or open gates. We are talking about the hidden biological traps that look innocent but can turn a peaceful afternoon into a nightmare. Specifically, if you ever see a perfectly round hole about the size of a quarter surrounded by strange silky white threads, do not let your dog near it. Grab their collar, run inside, and call a professional immediately. Because what is living inside that hole isn't just a bug. It is a predator that can shut down a dog's nervous system in less than an hour. In this in-depth video, we are uncovering the top 7 backyard dangers that are hiding in plain sight. From toxic plants that look like common grass to the invisible parasites waiting in the water bowl. And pay close attention to number 1, because it might be growing in your garden right now, and you probably think it is just a weed. Welcome to Canine Insight. Let's start with the ground beneath their paws. Dogs are diggers by nature. They smell things we cannot. Their noses are thousands of times more sensitive than ours, detecting movement and life deep underground. But sometimes that curiosity leads them to the trapdoor. In many regions across the world, specifically in warmer climates, there is a type of spider that builds a burrow with a camouflaged lid. To a human, it looks like a patch of dirt, maybe a little uneven. But to a dog, it smells like prey. If your dog starts obsessively sniffing or scratching at a small, disturbed patch of earth that looks like a cork, pull them away, immediately. The bite of a trapdoor spider, or worse, a funnel web spider, is highly toxic. While not always fatal to large dogs like Great Danes or Mastiffs, smaller breeds like Terriers or Chihuahuas can suffer severe systemic reactions. We are talking about muscle tremors, rapid heart rate, and difficulty breathing. The rule is simple. If the ground looks like it has a door, do not let them knock. But holes aren't the only danger on the ground. Let's talk about something much more common, something you might have stepped on today: mushrooms. After a rainstorm, mushrooms can pop up overnight. To us, they are just fungus. But to a dog, some wild mushrooms smell fishy. They smell interesting. They smell like food. The problem is that 2 of the most deadly mushrooms, the deathcap and the destroying angel, look incredibly similar to the harmless mushrooms you buy at the grocery store. They are white, unassuming, and quiet killers. If a dog ingests a deathcap mushroom, the toxins attack the liver cells, causing them to rupture. The scary part, the symptoms might not show up for 10 to 12 hours. By the time your dog starts vomiting or showing yellowing in the eyes, the liver damage is already done. At Canine Insight, our advice is strict. Treat every wild mushroom as a medical emergency. Scan your yard every morning before you let them out. It takes 5 seconds to kick a mushroom over and dispose of it, but it could add years to your dog's life. Now look up. Look at the landscaping. Do you have sago palms, oleander, azaleas? These are common decorative plants found in millions of homes. They are sold at every garden center. They are beautiful, green, and vibrant. They are also deadly. Let's focus on the sago palm. It looks like a small tropical fern, but every single part of this plant is poisonous. The leaves, the bark, the roots. But the seeds are the most concentrated source of the toxin called cycacin. If your dog mistakes a sago palm seed for a treat or a ball, the consequences are catastrophic.
The survival rate for sago palm poisoning is terrifyingly low, hovering around 50%, even with aggressive veterinary treatment. And then there is oleander, a beautiful shrub with pink or white flowers. It contains cardiac glycosides.
This means that eating just a few leaves can disrupt the electrical impulses of the heart. It can literally stop a dog's heart. If you have these plants, Canine Insight recommends removing them. If you cannot remove them, fence them off completely. No aesthetic, no beautiful garden is worth your best friend's life. Let's move to something less obvious, something deceptive: water. You might think a puddle after a rainstorm is harmless. Your dog certainly does. They drink from it happily, lapping up the fresh water. But stagnant water, water that sits in a flower pot saucer, an old tire, or a hole in the ground, is a breeding ground for biological weapons. We are talking about leptospirosis and giardia. Leptospirosis is a bacteria spread through the urine of infected wildlife: rats, raccoons, deer. They come into your yard at night, they urinate near the water, and the bacteria waits. When your dog drinks that water, the bacteria enters their bloodstream and attacks the kidneys. Symptoms like lethargy, fever, and vomiting might not show up for days. And because lepto can be transmitted to humans, it puts your entire family at risk. Giardia is a parasite that causes severe gastrointestinal distress. It is hard to kill and easy to catch. The solution? Dump it out. After every rain, do a patrol. Empty the bird baths. Empty the saucers. Ensure your dog always has access to fresh, clean tap water so they are never tempted by the dirty puddle. Now, let's talk about the mystery meat. If you find a dead bird, a squirrel, or a rodent in your yard, your first instinct might be disgust. You want to look away. But your dog's instinct is different. Their instinct is to investigate, to sniff, to mouth, sometimes to eat. Do not let them. That animal may not have died of natural causes. It may have died from rodent poison put out by a neighbor. Rodenticides are designed to taste good. They are flavored with peanut butter or molasses to attract rats, but they also attract dogs. Even if your dog doesn't eat the poison directly, eating a poisoned rat causes what we call secondary poisoning. They are ingesting the poison that killed the rat. This causes internal bleeding that is often invisible until the dog collapses. If you find wildlife remains, dispose of them immediately. Wear gloves, double bag it, and watch your dog closely for signs of pale gums, weakness, or bruising. These are signs of internal bleeding. We also need to discuss the things we put in the yard, specifically mulch. Cocoa bean mulch. It smells like chocolate. It looks rich and dark. It is a popular choice for landscaping, but it contains theobromine, the same compound in chocolate that is toxic to dogs. Because of the sweet smell, dogs are tempted to eat it by the mouthful. Ingesting cocoa bean mulch can cause rapid heart rate, muscle tremors, and seizures. If you are a dog owner, avoid this type of mulch entirely. Stick to cedar or pine. It might not smell like chocolate, but it won't send you to the emergency room. Finally, let's talk about the most innocent-looking danger of all, the grass itself, or rather, the seeds. Foxtails. These are arrow-shaped grass seeds that are designed by nature to burrow. They have microscopic barbs that allow them to move in only one direction, forward. If a foxtail gets into your dog's nose, ear, or between their toes, it will not come out on its own. It will keep digging deeper and deeper. Vets have found foxtails that migrated from a dog's paw all the way up the leg. They have found them in lungs. They have found them in brains. They cause massive infection and abscesses. If you live in an area with tall, dry grass, check your dog after every walk. Check between the toes. Check inside the ears. If you see your dog violently sneezing or shaking their head after being outside, assume it is a foxtail and get to the vet. Time is tissue. Your backyard is an extension of your home, but it is still part of nature, and nature has its own rules. It has its own defenses.
By knowing these signs, the silk-lined holes, the toxic leaves, the stagnant water, the innocent mushrooms, you transform. You go from being a passive owner into an active protector. Your dog relies on you. They rely on you to know what is safe and what is not. They rely on you to be the leader who says leave it when they find a deadly mushroom. Now you have the knowledge. Now you are that leader.
If you found this Canine Insight valuable, if you learned something that might save a life, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. We have more life-saving truths, more deep dives into psychology, and more insights coming your way. Check your yard today. Stay safe and keep watching.